Union playing at home takes the kickoff against champions Waddah. And immediately the Maverly team playing in red, captain Balfour Daly, alias Yellow. And there you saw the captain of Maverly heading the ball out. Comes though to Philip Scott, who's playing inside and cleared into touch. Shot on goal by Waddah Fc, still inside the field of us. Bar again, and a good parry by Franklin Waugh. Onside and well done as Waddah Fc shot was slightly defected and left goalkeeper Franklin Waugh onside. He did very well to parry around the right upright and kept the ball in play. So Waddah pushing back Maverly Fc. We're 2.5 minutes in this match. The referee Peter Prendergast and the linesmen Glenroy Williams and Michael Francis. Maverly Fc on the attack. Here comes the Maverly team and cleared away by Innie Eccleston for Waddah. So we have a corner now for the Maverly Fc team, the home team. We have had 2 corners in this match, one to either team, and Waddah won their corner kick in the opening seconds of this match. Here's a corner kick coming in now for Maverly Fc, a rising team that they are on a roll and opposing the champions at home. 2 Waddah players fighting for that ball. That's poor work by Boris Johnson, giving the ball away, and it comes now to Delton Clark. Clark plays inside and finds Philip Scott, and that's Gibbs. Broken up though by Maverly Fc. That's Steve Stevens losing possession. This is Waddah Fc, and Steve Stevens called for tugging. Long ball played forward. Horace McFarlane is coming forward, but Stennett Sam says thank you, dessert is served. And that's an easy save for the Waddah goalkeeper, Stennett Sams. Very skillful, but as I always say, sometimes he lapses in concentration and creates problems for his own team. Waddah plays inside. It's broken up by the Maverly Fc team. Delton Clark rushing in. That's Barr controlling. He keeps it in and loses possession to Howard Trout. Trout now finds, this is Horace, in fact Steve Stevens getting inside. Still Steve Stevens working well, trying a shot towards goal, and easily saved by Stennett Sams. Good work, good fight by young Steve Stevens. He was hounded by 2 Waddah players, but he did well, kept his legs and got a shot off. That slightly worried goalkeeper Stennett Sams. Waddah playing back under just a bit of pressure. This is Christopher Gibbs. The Maverly Fc team looks to be a very slick outfit, and that's Howard Trout getting the last touch, and the ball has gone into touch for the throw to Waddah. That's Clark playing to Gibbs. Gibbs plays inside to Conrad Henry. Henry for Waddah, playing left side, looking for his captain Carlton Alexander. Finds him to Alexander in the left wing position, formerly a midfielder, trying a shot, and Balfour Daly's clearance not good, and the mess cleaned up on that occasion by Everton Gooden. Now this is Boris Johnson playing upfield, looking for Junior Dennis, and the ball has gone into touch for a throw to Maverly Fc. So the captain Balfour Daly making a clearance that wasn't clean, but in the end he was backed up nicely by Everton Gooden. Here's a throw taken by Maverly Fc, and it comes to Steve Stevens. A cross coming in, and Sam saves easily. A still afternoon at the Maverly Sports Complex, slightly overcast with no threat of rain. We have a grassy turf that's bumpy in most parts, but should provide keen play. This is the Waddah captain Alexander finding the number 14, that's Philip Scott. Scott plays inside to Gibbs. Gibbs rifles a shot. It's blocked by Francis Moore. That's Steve Stevens. Comes to Horace McFarlane. McFarlane plays inside, and this is Junior Dennis. Dennis is headed not good. He gets it, says thank you. Dennis is coming forward. Dennis finds McFarlane. McFarlane plays right side as Maverly Fc on the attack. Played inside the penalty box. And here's a chance. Missing. Junior Dennis alone with goalkeeper Stennett Sams. The flag was not up, and so the linesman Glenroy Williams thought that Junior Dennis was onside. He certainly was. Had goalkeeper Senet Sands at his mercy and mopped what surely should have been goal number 1 for Maverly Fc. Here's the corner kick now for the home team to be taken by Howard Trout. Trout spotting this ball. It's 7 minutes in this match and it's Maverly Fc at home 0. Champions Waddah 0. Corner kick floated in. Sams, it's in the top of the roof of the net, and no go for Maverly Fc. Here is Trout controlling for Maverly Fc, loses possession. This is Delton Clark turning and playing right side, finds Captain Carlson Alexander. Alexander does well. Still Alexander for Waddah. Still Alexander playing inside the center, and Gibbs does well. Here's Clark looking again for Gibbs, cleared by Daly, headed out by Barr, and that comes to Philip Scott. Scott plays left side, a lot of pace on that ball, and looking for Dillian Oates. Oates for Waddah, changing the play. That's a good pass. Finds Rodney Barr. He will keep this ball inside. Yes, he does. This is Barr for Waddah, beating Steve Stevens and looking for Neville Brown. Here's a break now for Maverly Fc. Cutting inside, Horace McFarlane, cleared by Dillian Oates. And that comes to Francis Moore. His shot not good, and allowing Waddah time to regroup. A header, a clearing header by Carl Campbell. Waddah on the attack once again. This is Delton Clark. Clark beats his man easily. Still Clark cutting inside. Will he try a shot? Clark rifles a shot and easily controlled by Balfour Daly, the captain. He plays out, and this looks to be... Oh, Trout was tripped by Delton Clark, and referee Peter Prendergast, reaching for the yellow card, decided that it's a strong warning for Delton Clark. Perhaps just losing his head and trying to recover, and tripped Howard Trout for a free kick to Maverly Fc. Maverly Fc nicely positioned in Group 2. They are on 9 points, but they are only 4 points off the leaders Cavalier. So Maverly poised to pounce in Group 2. Header by Dillian Oates, clearing for Maverly Fc. A shot taken inside and cleared on that occasion by O'Neill Eccleston. That's Boris Johnson. Now Neville Brown for Waddah. Brown trying to beat Carl Campbell. He can't. This is Carl Campbell clearing upfield and finds Horace McFarlane. Cut out though by Mark McNeil. Still Maverly Fc. Very tight and skillful unit. Looks to be a very young team. Had a slow start in the Craven A National Premier League. This has been their season of baptism. And over the last month or so, they have come into their own and are now 4 points off group leaders Cavalier. Now playing champions Waddah. Shot taken, goal across the face of the woodwork, and it goes into touch for a goal kick to Waddah. This is Gibbs for Waddah, finding Barr. Barr comes inside neatly, losing possession now. And upfield, looking for Trout, finds him too. Will he keep this ball in? Yes, he does. No, he doesn't. The signal from linesman Michael Francis, as I thought the ball went into touch, put it through to champions Waddah. Midway their own half, in the right wing position. Cleared marginally by Campbell, finds Trout. Still Trout. Trout being hounded by 2 players. The captain of Waddah, Alexander, moves away with the ball. Alexander looking for Conrad Henry, doesn't find him, and that's Boris Johnson. Ball comes now to Francis Moore. Moore controls for Maverly Fc. Plays inside to Carl Campbell. They call him Natty Morgan. Campbell plays left side and finds Gooden. Gooden sweeping down, looking now for Horace McFarlane. McFarlane for Maverly Fc puts a cross inside. This is dangerous, and it comes now to another striker. Still Maverly, shot and goal across the face of the goal by Steve Stevens, and it goes into touch for what looks to be a goal kick to Waddah. So we're just about 12 minutes in this match, and one would have to say that the young Maverly Fc team, this is a cross-zone fixture, mind you. Waddah, the defending champions in Group 1, Maverly Huenden in Group 2. And in Group 2, Maverly Huenden, 4 points off the leaders Cavalier, are having the better of champions Waddah at home at the Maverly Sports Complex. A backward header, finding the number 8 for Maverly Huenden, Junior Dennis, who made a mess of it. And now Maverly loses possession to Waddah. That's Dylan Oates playing upfield, looking for Neville Brown. The ball has gone into touch for a throw to Waddah. Quickly taken by a busy Captain Alexander. And it looks to be a foul throw, or let's see, free kick instead, foul. And a free kick to the Maverly Huenden team. 13 minutes gone, Maverly Huenden 0 and the champions Waddah 0. Not a large crowd by any means, but it's a fair-sized one. Overcast conditions, no threat of rain though, and this match should be completed without any bother. This is Dylan Oates, the left fullback for Waddah, allowing the ball to go into touch, and has a throw now for the champions. The Maverly Huenden team in 10 outings, they have won 3, lost 4, drawn 3. They have scored 8 goals, conceded 8, a goal difference of 0. That puts them on 9 points, 4 behind the Group 2 leaders Cavalier. This is a cross-zone fixture once again, reminding you, and this is the 11th round of the preliminary stage of the Craven A National Premier League, the island's top-class club competition. A long clearance by Waddah. Here is Carlton Alexander, and goalkeeper Franklin Wall says thank you and easily finds Everton Gooden. Gooden for Maverly Huenden, clears up field. Poor pass, cut up by Christopher Gibbs. Junior Dennis got a boot in there, well done. Stevens finds Howard Trout. Here's a break now for Maverly Huenden. Trout controls for Maverly Huenden. Will attempt to put a cross inside. He does so now. And cleared by Dylan Oates. Saw Waddah, comes to Everton Gooden. Bouncing once, controls, loses possession to Neville Brown. Throw though to Maverly Huenden. Throw being taken midway, the Waddah half in the left wing. Long throw headed into touch again by the right fullback Rodney Barr. Pace just picking up marginally. Maverly Huenden having the better of play, one would say. They have had more possession of the ball, but the Waddah team, they look absolutely dangerous when they break for goal. Long throw inside, headed out by Christopher Gibbs. This is Gooden for Maverly Huenden. Poor header and a throw to Waddah. Here's a pass forward. This is Horace McFarlane, and here is a chance for Maverly, missing the right upright. Good work though by Steve Stevens. Good effort. He wasn't in an ideal position, but perhaps a player like an Everett Petty, I'm sure, would have rose and volleyed what would have been a powerhouse of a shot. And for sure the Maverly Huenden team missing Everett Petty here, as Steve Stevens made a good effort. Here is Junior Dennis collecting a ball from the Waddah team. Dennis putting a cross inside now. He doesn't. Gone to the goal line. Cross coming in and headed out by Mark McNeil. Perhaps Dennis waited for his effort a bit too late. Ball played inside. Comes now to Conrad Henry. Finds Belton Clark. Clark controls for Waddah. Plays inside to Henry. Henry now finds Scott. Scott looking for his captain. Finds him too. That's Carlton Alexander, who passes back to Rodney Barr. Waddah coming forward. Now inside the field. Steve Stevens, the top midfield for Maverly Huenden. And Stevens is working overtime. Corner to be taken by the seemingly corner kick specialist, Howard Trout. Howard Trout plays midfield for Maverly Huenden. The kick is coming in, and Stevens, here's a chance. Dennis cleared though by Belton Clark. Comes to Neville Brown. Brown for Waddah, and put into touch by Carl Campbell. Look back at this opening stanza with satisfaction. They have got the job done. They have blunted Waddah's strike force. They have dominated midfield, and they have scored through Francis Moore. Maverly Huenden 1, Waddah 0. That's Clark inside to Conrad Henry. Henry looking for Alexander. It goes into touch for the throw to Maverly Huenden. Throw to be taken by Boris Johnson, and he finds Moore Johnson clears up field. That's Gibbs. And Oates across the field. Barr is there. Barr finds Dalton Clark. Clark is looking for Alexander. And Daly clears. Johnson. Clark. Charging tackle by Boris Johnson. And he clears into touch. For a throw to Waddah. The throw is headed behind for a goal kick to Maverly. The goal scorer for Maverly Fc, Francis Moore, in the 29th minute, came from a header. But Waddah having some difficulty negotiating the surface, and they are just not operating a tight shop. Here's a throw inside, and Boris Johnson clears. Eccleston. Gibbs finds Dalton Clark. Here is Brown, and War, the goalkeeper for Maverly Fc, makes a good save. Barr beats his man easily. Clark. Cleared by Gooden. Oates to Barr. And Barr does very well. Here's a throw now for the Maverly Fc team playing at home. And this is shaping up to be a long throw. Inside. Headed inside. Scores! Maverly Fc takes the lead. The pressure was always mounting. Francis Moore in the 29th minute. Nodding home, leaving goalkeeper Stennett Sams with absolutely no chance. And the home team, as I said, having the better of play, having more possession of the ball, takes the lead in the 29th minute. Francis Moore puts Maverly Fc in front. And the home team are leading champions Waddah by a goal to nil, as Maverly Fc continues their rise in the Craven A National Premier League, making their mark as Waddah takes the kickoff. This is Dillian Oates coming under a bit of pressure, and now the Maverly Fc team, their tails will be up, and one can expect some dazzling soccer now from this young Maverly Fc team. Throw taken, cleared by Oates, comes to the goal scorer Moore. He leaves it to Carl Campbell, goes over the touchline for a throw to Waddah. Quickly taken by Conrad Henry. Campbell is there heading inside. This is Gibbs. Tackled by Moore. Here is Kevin Eldermeyer playing long. Oates puts his ball into touch. Through to Maverly Fc, who they have concentrated their play on the right side. Junior Dennis is there, so too Kevin Eldermeyer. And one wonders, but the Maverly Fc game is awfully right-sided. And you really can't criticize that, because they have pressured Waddah, they have controlled this match so far, and not only that, they have scored. And They're leading Waddah by a Francis Moore header in the 29th minute. Maverly Fc takes a throw and headed into touch by Mark McNeil of Waddah. Another throw to Maverly Fc. Eldermeyer has the ball. And he leaves it. This looks to be Howard Trout. Long throw inside from Trout. Coming across the face of the goal. Sam says thank you, holds on tightly. And gives his teammates a charge to go forward. We're now in the 33rd minute. Maverly Fc 1, Waddah 0. Francis Moore's header in the 29th minute has been the difference, and a good slide tackle there from Carl Campbell. Puts the break on the Waddah attack. Throw inside by the Waddah team, headed up by Francis Moore. This is Oates. Speculative kick. Dennis inside to Moore. And the return pass now. Here is Dennis controlling for Maverly Fc, and still Dennis. A bit of a fancy work, puts a cross in. Francis Moore will not get there much too long. And it goes to the touch for a goal kick to Waddah. A good effort from Junior Dennis. Alexander, and missing on that occasion was Boris Johnson, cleared upfield by Conrad Henry. Here is Neville Brown. Brown trying to work inside Everton Gooden. Still Neville Brown. Brown plays back to Philip Scott. Scott tries a cross, blocked easily by Francis Moore, and Morris changes the play nicely, but Trott wasn't there. Neither was Dennis. This is Rodney Barr. Barr beats his man neatly. Barr coming forward, finds Clark. Clark to Captain Alexander. Oh, Alexander messes up. And Daly doesn't do any better. Here is Barr trying to get inside two players. And cleared by Daly. Comes to Gibbs, who intercepts for Waddah. Here is Scott. Scott dribbling across. And a good tackle by Boris Johnson. Here is Trott giving the ball away. This is Rodney Barr. Barr looking for Neville Brown. And Franklin Wall leaving his line in goal for Maverly Fc, and makes a take and clears the field. Finds Horace McFarlane. McFarlane plays right side to Junior Dennis, who gets a pass from Kevin Eldermeyer. Dennis controls. Oh, his cross is not good. Messes up and really spoils what could have been a spectacular finish from Maverly Fc. Goal kick comes to Barr, who doesn't control cleanly, and Clark couldn't beat Trout. Trout's clearance comes to Barr, and Barr turns away from his man, loses possession. And this is Stevens looking for Dennis, cleared by Rodney Barr. This is Neville Brown controlling well. This is Alexander. Oh, Brown makes an excellent control, finding Dalton Clark. Clark for Waddah. Oh, and Daly almost put his face in the boot of Clark, but Daly does well. This is Trout. Trout losing possession, dispossessed. Here's Neville Brown. Will he try a shot? And Neville Brown messes things up. He looks at the turf, but I don't think that's a problem. Goal kick to Maverly Fc. In goal, the back four: Anila Heston 3, Mark McNeil 5, Rodney Barr number 2, and Dylan Oates number 4. The midfielders: Philip Scott number 14, Dalton Clark 6, Christopher Gibbs number 17, Conrad Henry number 10, and up front Neville Brown number 9, Carlton Alexander number 8. The referee for this match, Peter Prendergast, and on the lines Glenn Roy Williams and Michael Francis. Getting set now for the start of the second half of this cross-zone 11th round Craven National Premier League match, and home team Maverly Fc are leading visitors and champions Waddah by a goal to nil. Francis Moore scoring in the 29th minute from a header inside the 6-yard box. Referee Peter Prendergast just awaiting the clock to tick over, and then he'll give the signal for the kickoff. We have a change on the Waddah team. Coming on is Adrian Spence, number 12, and he kicks off with Never Brown, who plays left side and finds Philip Scott. A long ball up front. Here is Spence and cleared by Conrad Daly. So a change has been made on the Waddah team. Adrian Spence is definitely in, number 12, and in a moment we will tell you which player Spence has replaced. Looks to be, well, we will just confirm that in just a moment. Throw by the captain Alexander, headed out by Moore. Here is Spence cutting inside, still Spence finds Alexander. Alexander waiting just a bit too long and cleared by Steve Stevens. It comes to McNeil, and that'll be through to Maverly Fc. Eldemeier's pass is not good, it's cleared. And here is Spence giving chase. Balfour Daly shielding. Into touch for a throw to Maverly Fc. For Boris Johnson. The pass is not good. Throw taken by Scott. Upfield by Gibbs. Looking for Spence. Cleared by Balfour Daly, the Maverly captain. And it's another throw to Waddah. The team, it will be worth their while to pay close attention to this. Horace McFarlane seems to be good with either foot, and he wastes no time in getting his shots off on goal. Boris Johnson standing over this ball. A dangerous free kick here for Waddah. In trouble. The kick for Maverly Fc. Boris Johnson. There's looks to be a 5-man wall, joined there by Steve Stevens. Johnson with the kick. Not saved. Scores! Junior Dennis makes it number 2 for Maverly Fc. In the 19th minute of the second half, 64 minutes gone in this match, and Maverly Fc taking champions Waddah apart. Junior Dennis scores the second goal in the 64th minute to make it Maverly Fc 2, Waddah 0. Free kick struck powerfully by Boris Johnson, and again goalkeeper Stedek Sams could not hold on to it, and Junior Dennis, the goal poacher, was there very much like Gary Lineker and made no mistake from close range, about 2 yards, hit hard into the back of the net to make it Maverly Fc 2 and Waddah 0. So a further setback here for sure for the Waddah team. Just about, let's see, 26 minutes left in this match. It's not impossible for the Waddah team to come from behind and perhaps even earn a draw, but it's highly unlikely, especially with their strike force weakened. Winston Angley not here, Devon Jarrett on suspension, David Faulkner on suspension. We see Captain Carlton Alexander playing up front, and that shows you how much the Waddah team has had to reshuffle in the absence of Winston Anglin and 2 suspended players. nicely. And here is Steve Stevens charging Mark McNeil in the free kick for Waddah. Francis Moore, and even so far in the second half, the Maverly Fc team continues to have the better of play. Eldermeyer beats Philip Scott, tries a weak left-footed shot. That poses no problem for goalkeeper Stinnett Sams. Here is Boris Johnson, dispossessed, hard tackle by Eldermeyer. Eldermeyer's header, and Dennis broken up by Mark McNeil, and Henry finds a bar for Waddah inside his own half, playing left-sided, finds Captain Alexander, cleared by Boris Johnson, and collected by goalkeeper Stinnett Sams. Well, Sams must take the blame for the second goal because the free kick was driven hard. He failed to hold on cleanly, and Dennis was there to make no mistake. And so the second goal must rest on the shoulders of goalkeeper Stinnett Sams. That's a good header by McFarlane. Here is Kevin Eldermeyer, puts a cross in. McFarlane on the volley over the top. And now Maverly Fc are taking Waddah absolutely apart. It's all Maverly Fc. They dominated the first half. And if they dominated the first half, I think the second half, they are totally annihilating the Waddah team. There has been no real pressure on the Maverly defenders. In the meantime, Neil Eccleston, who left at half-time, Philip Scott dropped back in the left full-back position, so Scott, McNeil, Barr and Oates kept on their toes. And now a second change by Waddah. Conrad Henry comes out. It looks as though Dion Morgan will be coming on. So Neil Eccleston out. Conrad Morgan is out. And Dion Morgan comes on to join Adrian Spence as the two substitutes by the Waddah team. This is Morgan getting his first touch, and not a bad pass. Well, it's not good either. It has gone into touch for the throw to the Maverly Fc team. This is Morgan. Not a good pass. Intercepted by Dennis, who loses to Alexander. That's Oates. Finding Scott. Scott beats his man. And intercepted by Boris Johnson. Scott once more. That's more. Finding Trout. Foul. And the referee Peter Prendergast. And that's, let's see, is that Dion Morgan? As Francis Moore was knocked to the ground. Knocked under, just under the left temple.